All right, guys. So I started the new year with a new look, and look already, my hair's in a ponytail already. Um, some of us are just ponytail type of people, and no matter what style we have, we're always going to try and put it in a ponytail. But I'm still loving my hair and digging it, so that's a plus. Um, So I'm really gonna try this year to at least make one video every week. I would really like to do daily, but I can't promise that because some days I am just so exhausted and I just know it's not gonna happen. So I'm not gonna promise you guys that. But I am going to try and do at least once a week to let you know what I've done throughout the week, what goals I've kept up with, what New Year's resolutions I've tried to keep up with. My New Year's resolution this year, I only have one this year, and that is to eat healthier and just be as healthy as possible. Now, New Year's, I ate really good. I had some ham. Sorry, I can't look at you. I have to like think away from the camera in order to think about what I had, which that's something I gotta work on. But I had ham, I had rice, I had um crapola, uh ham, rice, boiled plantains, which were really good and different and very healthy. Um Pasta salad. My aunt made some bomb ass pasta salad. Like, usually I don't like the pasta salad that has like green and white noodles, and they're the spinny noodles. They might be rotini noodles or something like that. Um, but it was so good. Like, she had tomatoes and cucumbers and whatever dressing she used, it was bomb. And just so fresh and refreshing. Oh, we had roast beef sandwiches too. Um, but New Year's was really good. What I am going to try and cut out of my diet all year is white, processed, refined, nasty, bleached sugar. I did eat something with sugar in it today, but I'll get to that in just a moment. But yes, I do want to cut sugar out of my diet because of the fact that it is, in my opinion, poison. First of all, it's not natural. It may start off that way. However, once it's gone through all of its chemical processes and all of its processed processes, um, it's just, in my opinion, it's awful for us. First of all, it goes through a bleaching process, and in my mind, when I think of this, as well as what I've seen lots of researchers and other people say as well, now that bleach is in our food, also known as our sugar. A lot of white foods are like this because if you look in nature, you're not going to find many white foods in nature. And if you do find white foods in nature, they're more of a off-white or an opaque color. It's not going to be white. Um, Everything I feel like has some type of pigment to it. And if you do find something that's white, um, it's probably something very small, like a flower or something like that. Um, but as far as like a fruit that's white, it's very hard to find fruit that is white. One that just popped into my mind is dragon fruit, but that also has black seeds in it, and outside the white fruit is purple fruit as well. So I'm sure you're able to find it, but it's not as common. um but back to the whole process. um First of all, the 89 cent pound bagged sugar at your grocery store is not the best for you. Now, I look at it this way: you can eat expensive now, and save your body for later, because if you save money now and go with the processed foods, later on they're going to cause problems for you. Yeah, our bodies are strong enough to rebuild and replenish themselves and fight off a lot of things, but over time, as we get older especially, our body starts to break down and doesn't perform at its highest because of the fact that we poison our bodies, and unknowingly poison our bodies sometimes, because one, we trust what we see on TV, we trust what we see at the grocery stores, and unfortunately for us, the grocery stores are first and foremost a business. So they're going to be purchasing the things that are selling on the market. Now, if they are doing their research and they're finding out that gummy bears are selling faster than apples, obviously they're going to want to make their profits, and they're going to buy gummy bears for the public to eat. Now, you go to another grocery store where their beliefs are different, and they're in it for the common good and not for profits. They're going to have those better foods for you because they got into the business because they love what they do and they know what's good for us. Whole Foods is one of those stores. Trader Joe's is one of those stores. Aldi's is becoming one of those stores. And then you also have like your local farm markets. Like, those are truly going to be like the best buys, because you're going to be able to go to them and be like, hey, what is Farmer John selling? Or what is Farmer John using as his fertilizer? What is Farmer John putting in his food to make it like this? And they're going to know, or they can get a hold of Farmer John and be like, hey, we have Susie Q here, and she wants to know, what you're putting in there. Is it organic? Are you using pesticides? Because a lot of stores, not the organic ones, but a lot of stores use pesticides which have chemicals in there, which in the long run affect us as well. Because if you know what the body is made out of, which in school I learned an analogy, I think is the right word, and cones is one of the basics for the body. So we have carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and CONS, sulfur, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur. I feel like I'm missing a letter, an H, hydrogen. C, carbon, O, oxygen, COH, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur. Yeah, so those ones, sorry for having to go over that so many times. But if you're eating what your body needs to fix itself, to repair itself, and you're not giving it things that are going to break it down, then you're good. you're going to be healthy and you're going to live the longest as possible. Now there are some people that eat healthy their whole lives and maybe potentially still die at an early age due to natural causes. However, there are people all over the world, especially in countries that live by very strict diets, and people die easily over 100 years old, which is how we're supposed to be living. We're not supposed to be dying in our 50s, 60s, 70s. That's so young. So young. You have so much more to accomplish. I feel anyway. So with that being said, I really want to give you guys like either a daily or a weekly breakdown of everything that I eat. So today I was a little bit bad. I started my day with, let me think back to the beginning of my day. I woke up, I started just getting my day started, and I made 5 Brussels sprouts. All these sells a whole bag, and a serving size is 5 Brussels sprouts. I put 2 pinches of salt, which pinch of salt to me is when you take your fingers in the salt, pinch it, and you put it in the pan or the pot, whatever you're cooking in. So I took 2 pinches of salt, put it in some water. I use bottled water when cooking or some type of filtered water. I do not use sink water, or at least I try not to. The only time I'll use sink water is one in the coffee machine downstairs because I don't control that, and if I don't have water available in a filtered form. So I let that boil, and then I also indulged in some, what did I make after the Brussels sprouts? After the Brussels sprouts, I made a cup of rice. Now, I didn't think a cup of rice was as much as it is, but a cup of rice is a lot of rice. And later on, I actually Googled later in the day because I didn't have the original packaging, because I take everything out of its plastic form and I try to put as much of my, what's that word? Like, when you have food that can be stored. So I guess like stored food. So like rice and beans and dried goods. That's what they are. So I try to put all my dried goods and spices and everything that I'll use later in a glass container. 1, it's much cleaner. 2, it's non-porous. 3, some plastics have chemicals in them that actually leak into your foods, therefore making you sick later. But we don't know this because who would think, oh, my storage container wouldn't make me sick? How would my storage container make me sick? Because of the fact that the chemicals that we're unaware of leak into our foods that we consume. Let's see, what else? In my rice, I actually took the water from my Brussels sprouts because why not reuse it, right? Because it's just Brussels sprout water. I ate Brussels sprouts earlier. I like the taste of Brussels sprouts, and it was a very faint water. It didn't really have a lot of smell to it. And instead of wasting it and tossing it down the drain when it's purified water already, I reused it. So I used a whole cup of rice. I poured my Brussels sprout water in there, and then I just drizzle enough oil to like cover the bottom of the pan, or enough oil that I think will cover and coat the whole rice so that way it's not sticking to the pan. Let that cook. Before I was able to actually eat that, we actually ended up going out and doing some running around. My mom and my uncle and the dog, the family dog. So whatchamacallit, I had an apple as a snack. And then we went to Dunkin' Donuts, And I got a medium coffee with 7 creams, which is amazing, by the way. If you are a coffee drinker, I don't put sugar in my coffee anymore. If I do sweeten up my coffee, it is with honey. Now, in the past, I used to put sugar in my coffee, and I used to put creamer with flavors in my coffee. However, I don't do that now because of the white processed sugar that's in the products. And it's a lot of sugar. Like if you do your research and figure out how much sugar is actually in things, I think you'd be greatly surprised. It's very scary when you look at it actually. And when you find out what sugar actually does to your body, if you're not consuming enough waters and fluids to break it down and flush it out of your body as well, because sugar is actually water soluble. So with the right mixtures, you can get it out of your system, but why even deal with that if you don't have to? And there's amazing substitutes in the world, like honey, that has amazing properties, by the way. But I also had their bagel bites, stuffed bagel bites. Let me tell you. 1, they were amazing. 2, you get 2 of them, and they're like little balls about this big. And like a little fist, like this. And they have cream cheese in there already, and I would say they would be either equivalent to a half a bagel or 1 whole bagel. But whatchamacallit, they were really, really good. I wouldn't say I would ever get addicted to them because they're not Dunkin' Donuts hash browns. Now, their hash browns are bomb, and I am addicted to those. Like, if I ever get something to eat at Dunkin' Donuts, it's always the hash browns. Whatchamacallit, what else did I eat today? I feel like I had 2 coffees today. No, that was yesterday, actually. That was yesterday because I had a McDonald's and a Dunkin's coffee yesterday. Whew. But then, okay, so we ran around. Then we came home. Oh, before we went home, I went to the grocery store. One thing I'm gonna try doing is to go grocery shopping once a week, if not twice a week, for everything so that way I can prepare it and don't have to be like, oh my god, what am I gonna eat tomorrow? Because that's just extra stress, and then like your body and your heart rate go up. Like, why not just be chill? So I got me some iceberg lettuce, some carrots, some cucumbers, some apples, pears, avocados, because at Aldi's I always find a good deal on avocados, like, and they're from Mexico, so like they have to be good. Whatchamacallit, let's see, what else did I get? Oh, mushrooms. I don't know if I said carrots, but I got little baby carrots. So now I'm gonna forward to my to when I got home. So when I got home, what I did is I went back to my rice from earlier in the day because I probably was just hungry, so I snacked on it a little bit. And then I'm also using my fitness to keep track of my calories and everything. But when I got home, I remembered that there was cheesecake from Christmas still left in the fridge. And not only was it 1 piece, but 2 pieces. But I only ate 1. And I saved the other piece for my brother because I told him I was going to send him 1 and I never did. So I packed it for him. So that's where I went naughty today. I had a yummy delicious piece of cheesecake, and I didn't even eat the whole piece. I saved some for later. So, I can have a scoop here and a scoop there. Um, so yeah, my cheesecake was like my naughty thing of the day today. Um, so then I finished making my rice. Well, no. So then I didn't finish making my rice. My rice was already done. I'll get back to my rice in a little bit. So for tomorrow, what I did is I made my salad for the day. So I cut up basically a fourth of iceberg lettuce, which normally I would get spinach, but we went to a new Aldi's and I didn't know where everything was at. So I only could find, I don't know, there's this one lettuce, but it looked moldy, so I didn't get it. And then there was iceberg, and iceberg's pretty safe. Like, it's good, but it's just not as nutritional as spinach. It's more hydrating rather than nutrient based. Which isn't bad because we need to stay hydrated in winter. So I cut up some iceberg lettuce, so like 1/4 of iceberg lettuce. Then I cut up 4 mushrooms, which actually you save about 10 cents because someone else didn't have to do the labor for you. So if you just cut them whole and use a pair of scissors, like, you saved yourself 10 cents. Which, yeah, I am that cheap. Okay, I'm not gonna pay someone else 10 cents when I can get the exercise in myself. So then I cut up 1 whole cucumber, and I cut up iceberg lettuce, mushrooms, cucumber, 1 whole pear, minus the core. I don't consume the seeds or the core. I dehydrate that and use it for powders. And I cut up 1 apple. I want to say it was a Fiji apple, but it could have been a different type of apple. So 1 whole apple, 1 whole pear, 10 baby carrots. Let's see, what else is a whole head of broccoli. And then where I'm going to go bad with my salad is I'm gonna do some ranch dressing. Now that's only because right now I don't have limes, or I would just go over my whole entire salad with some lime juice, but real lime juice, like out of the lime. I have like organic stuff in a container in my fridge, but I'm not putting that on my salad. Like, I use that to like spice up things if I need it in emergencies, but not on my salad. So if I had limes, I would put that on there with a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, a little bit of turmeric, and whatever spices that I feel I want to put on my salad. So that's gonna be my salad tomorrow and for the next couple days. And then I'm also going to prepare for dinner either some rice and chicken or rice and some type of protein. 1/4 cup of rice, whatever you prefer. I just happen to buy jasmine rice. And then after my jasmine, I'm gonna switch it back to Bensadi rice because I loved Bensadi rice. It was just the way that the grain is, and the length of it, and the way that it cooks, and the smell of it is just so beautiful. Like, it just has a very fluorescent, not fluorescent, floral taste to it. And I fell in love with it. I do want to try other rices because other rices do have more health benefits, as far as like a whole grain rice, the red rices, the black rices, all types of brown rices. And rice is just so like convenient, like, and it's a good filler. Um, let's see what else. Oh, so back to my rice. So then I kind of got bored of like just the white rice. So I was like, how do I jazz this up a little bit? So I put a whole bottle, well, almost a whole bottle of water. And then I had some peppers a while ago that I turned into like chile powder. And whatchamacallit, so I sprinkled some of that in there and some salt and pepper. And then after it was done cooking, I put that lime juice that I was telling you earlier. It doesn't matter what lime juice, everyone has different flavors. You find your favorite one and just go to town. So basically, I made like a poor version of lemon rice soup. But yeah, so that's what I'm eating for dinner today is my lemon rice soup. Hopefully tomorrow I'm able to give you guys like more of my day. What else do I want to inform you guys about? My hair, my diet. Oh, and then like currently I weighed myself yesterday and I'm at 151 pounds, which I have stated before, like during the winter time, I didn't care if I put on an extra 10 pounds because it's just going to keep me warm. But now that it's on, I'm like, damn, you gotta go. So now that it's like New Year's, I'm like, I gotta get myself together, you know, because before we know it, spring is going to be here and it's gonna be like, girl, how are you gonna try and fit in your Daisy Dukes and you can't even get yourself into, not just playing, I don't even wear Daisy Dukes. But you know, like those cute outfits, and then it's like, oh my gosh, who is this fatty in my clothes? um but I will show you what my soup looks like that I'm eating. It don't even look like soup because whatchamacallit, the rice worm absorbs so much of the moisture, the water. But that's what I'm eating. What else? Oh, for those who may not have watched my video before this one, I am official tissue, ladies and gentlemen. I am officially a cosmetologist. Again, I will not be slacking this time. I will be utilizing my license. I will not be chasing boys this time because, you know, I was young and dumb the last time and I could have been a millionaire by now. But, you know, we all have to learn our own ways. And unfortunately, I like to learn the hard way. Don't know why. Don't know why I don't listen. But hey, you know, gotta learn the hard way. But yes, I'm very, very excited. Now I can officially call myself a cosmetologist, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who actually has supported me through my journey, because as much as I could say it was a hard journey, it wasn't. It was an amazing refresher course. I got to meet so many amazing people at my school, regardless if we built a relationship or not. I remember every single person from my class and don't think I ever forgot any of you guys. I will leave you nameless in here because I know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, you know I'ma fuck with you later. Because you know who you are. Because I know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Do I need to remind you? Do we need to go back to class? But no, but anywho, and not to mention my classmates, but you know, like my teachers too. Like, man, like I had some really awesome teachers. I bumped heads with a couple of my teachers, but I think it was meant to be, so that way we remember each other in the long run, because the man upstairs, and I don't live in an apartment, I live in a house. So, that guy, that man named God that lives upstairs, that man always up there that's watching everything. He's got a sick sense of humor. The man is sick. He's crazy. And I wouldn't have him any other way. Because he's always messing with me, man. Like, forever messing with me. And I enjoy it. Like, I won't enjoy it at the moment. But in the long run, I'm like, man, you are so messed up in the head, God. Like, what is your problem sometimes? And I just get a visual, like, because nobody really knows what God looks like. So, just like the first person that popped into my head right now was Buddha. And I just get a visual of Buddha just like chuckling and giggling and laughing his butt off. Like, what is so funny? Why are you laughing at my expense? You know? But then I look back and I'm like, yeah, I guess it was kind of funny, huh? um, but whatchamacallit, school was an amazing journey, because not only did I grow education wise to refresh myself and to remind myself that this is my calling, um, it helped me grow inside, um, because of the fact that, like, as an Aquarius, I always think of everyone else first, and it's really hard for me sometimes to, like, be selfish when reality is not being selfish at all. Like, if I don't help me first, like, how am I going to help somebody else, right? Like, if you're not complete, how can you even begin to complete somebody else? And with school, I learned a lot again. And I learned how important people are. Like, we're all very important. We all have things to work on. We all have different goals in life. And um man, like, I hate getting deep sometimes because it really, like, hits me sometimes. But and my nose hairs are bothering me, so I apologize for keeping, like, itching my nose. I need to go pluck them or wax them, something. I mean, come on now, I'm a cosmetologist. Why do I even have nose hairs? But whatchamacallit, um but school really did help me grow as a person, and, like, it really opened my eyes to, like, see my potential. And I have a lot of potential. Like, I always see the potential in other people and know what other people are capable of. But then, like, when it comes to me pushing myself, I'm like, why aren't I just as hard on myself? Like, and some days I am, but most of the time I'm just like, I'm relaxed, I'm cool. Things will happen if they're meant to happen. But I think that's just the Aquarius in me. Because we're pretty just, like, calm, collective people. And then, I don't know, like, nothing really seems to bother us. Unless someone, intentionally wants to poke the bear. And then, by all means, let the claws come out, because you didn't. But whatchamacallit, but school was awesome. I loved school. I would go back to school. While I was in school, like, throughout school and just throughout, like, the past 10 years of my life, like, I've met a lot of different people. And one person, well, I mean, like, a couple people, but, like, I will also leave this person nameless, because they should know who they are, and if they don't, then I'll remind you in person. But they had, oh man, what was I gonna say? Oh, they had mentioned something about their future and like living in Mexico with their wife or significant other and living in Mexico, and that she would be a teacher, right? So I was like, man, this is inspiring. Like, when I was in school, I was like, man, like, I help a lot of people out in class. Like, if anybody had a question, like, I would always have an answer. Like, and instead of just sending them to the teachers, like, man, leave me the fuck alone. I'm not a teacher. Like, go ask the teacher. Like, I would share my insight, and share how I would approach a subject. And oh my gosh, I need to do my nails so bad. I had a bad moment the other day and I peeled all my nails. But whatchamacallit, um, but I was like, man, you know what? Like, for real, I could do teaching. I could definitely teach people. Like, I have so many creative ways to, like, try and explain things to somebody. Like, and if this way doesn't work, then I try and come up with a different way. If not, angels are always around to help you and help you think a different way. And they always send us messages, whether we're able to receive those messages and translate them, or like, that's another thing. That's another one of God's sense of sides of humor. Like, I believe that God is just a really jolly guy, but like, you have to know him. You have to know that he means well. He doesn't mean to harm you. But he does put us through different tests constantly, because there's people who aren't tough at all, and there's people who are the toughest. And if you think you're the toughest, then he's going to test you to make sure you are tough and that you are capable of being tough. And if you are the toughest, how will you know unless you've been through all different trials, tribulations, and things in life? So, with that being said, I feel like he sends me on a lot of different missions to give me a fulfilled life. And my God doesn't have a face. Now I do believe that Jesus is real, but I don't believe Jesus is God, because Jesus is the Son of God. So there's no way that he can be God. But I am Christian. I do believe in Jesus. And maybe, we all, believe in something, someone, and we're all put here for a reason, and I apologize for this video being so long, but that's how I roll. And if you don't like it, then hey, how many other YouTube subscribers are there? You could get up off here. But whatchamacallit, I feel like he's always testing us, and there's always tests to pass. And sometimes I fail my test on purpose, especially if I feel like someone is testing me on purpose just to see if I'll pass. I'll fail on purpose, because I don't play that. I don't like to be tested. I don't like to be, especially when it comes to things serious. Now I do joke around, like I do clown around. I am a clown. But when it comes to certain things, I don't play. But whatchamacallit, but God did. He definitely tested me in school. He tested, my strength, my patience. That's one thing that I really worked on in school, was my patience, because I was put through a lot of different tests. I lost it one time in school, which wasn't good. But other than that, school was amazing. School really was. You're probably wondering, like, yeah, she keeps talking about school. Which one did she go to? I went to Mario Chikosi in Chicago, off of Sheridan Road, next to Loyola University. If you are looking to go to a school I do recommend this school. Now, when you go to this school, it's diverse. There are students of all ages. You're going to get students fresh out of high school, and you're going to get students that are maybe 50 years old. You know, it's never too old to go back to school, first and foremost. So with my class was a younger class. There was I'm an old soul. So when I go somewhere, and especially when my money's being invested into something, I'm not there to clown around. I'm there to get my education. So there was, you could say, a lot of clowning around in class. So I would get frustrated in class sometimes because I didn't feel like I would get what I was supposed to get out of class due to clowning around. Now, on days where I was very frustrated, I was fortunate enough to have the lake literally 1 to 2 blocks away from school, and there was 2 streets that I would pretty much walk down to the lake. There was one where I would go get me a Blaze pizza, and then I would walk to the lake. I would go eat my pizza on lunch, have me time, and then I would walk back to class. That was one thing that I would do. Then the other way that I would walk is if I brought my lunch, which sometimes I did, but I will walk to the other side of the way that I walked. And on that side there still is, sorry, I apologize. Excuse me, there's a statue of Jesus over there. And I would go over there and I would just talk, meditate, pray. Sometimes I would leave food, just to clear my mind, so that way I came back to class not frustrated. But whatchamacallit, and it was a nice area. It still is a nice area. Some days I would just walk around the block just to clear my head, or not even all the time was I frustrated, just sitting in a spot for so long, your body's like, can we get up and do something? Like, this is boring. And it's like, yeah, like, let me get up and walk around the block. And there were so many different beautiful plants, and every once in a while there would be this guy. He would be playing the piano. He did piano lessons, and I would hear him outside, and it was just so beautiful, like the music he would play. Also too, you could also take the train around there. You could take the red line. If you're familiar with the Chicago trains, you could take the red line to the Loyola stop. And Mario Tricosi is like a half a block to a block away, depending on how you look at it. But yes, like, school was amazing. What else about school? My principal, or I consider her the principal, but the head director of the school, she was amazing. I still to this day could reach out to her, and she as well as the other teachers would still help me. All the educators were amazing. And just a fabulous staff. Like, I never had any issues with any of the teachers, unless there was a miscommunication between myself and the teacher. But other than that, like, everyone was amazing there. Were there days where I wish they would have went better? Yes, of course. But not every day is perfect. So it is what it is. Like I said, God puts us through tests, trials, and tribulations, however you want to say it. And I passed. I went through all his tests, and now I'm here, and I'm a cosmetologist, and I'm proud of myself. And for those who I haven't seen in a while, not only because of Corona, but because I haven't been able to get out of the house, I hope to see you guys soon. I don't know how many people from school may be watching. But if you are, you should definitely make a channel and let's start like talking on here. Let's start doing some challenges on here. Like, let's get it, guys. Like, I hope everyone from my class has graduated at least by now, unless you went to part-time, of course. And I hope that you guys are certified, if not getting certified. And if you're not in the process of getting certified, what the hell are you doing? Honey, there is money to be made out here. Like, get it, you know? And I'm not talking to anybody in particular, so you know what I'm saying? If you got a guilty conscience, that's on you, baby cakes. But yes, 2021 is going to be a fabulous year. And if it's not a fabulous year for you, then there's changes that need to be made, because everyone should feel fabulous. Even if they're looking a little beat up and rough, you should still feel fabulous at the end of the day. Let's see, anything else that I would like to share before I end this? Today I am actually going to be making my first product, which I'm actually going to do a video on. So this evening I am going to be making my first product for the public that I have ever officially made as a cosmetologist, which is going to be called Loopies. Loopies is going to be my chapstick. It's all natural, all organic, only 3 ingredients. And if you want to know how or what or when or how or whatever questions you may have on my chapstick, I will be making a video, so you're gonna have to watch that to find out. I apologize. I would tell you, but then what's the point of making a video, right? So that will be my next video, guys. I am now going to get off of here so that way I can finish eating my rice, and I'm going to actually get my things together for this next video. I hope that you guys watch it. Happy New Year once again, and hopefully you guys like, subscribe if you want to. And then of course, if you have any questions for me, feel free to write me down in the comment box. Yeah, that's all I got for you today. I will talk to you guys probably in about 2 hours. But yeah, let me just finish doing all this on my phone so that way I can get it transferred over to YouTube and then set up for chapsticks, and then I'll be back. Peace out.